Okay, let's get to it. So, there is no good time to start investing. It don't matter what you tell yourself, there's no good time to start investing. And a lot of people, they will say that they don't have the money, and that's for another video. But then you also have those that said that, well, I'm not scared, but I'm just at a point in my life right now where I'm not ready to invest. Or going back to what I said first, that they don't have the money right now to invest, when the truth is you actually do have the money to invest. Now, before I continue, I see my little hair right here sticking out. Look, it's gonna stay like that, okay? Look, the mug growing though. Look at it. It growing. Look at it. Look at it. Look at that, baby. Look at it. Look at it. All right, back to the video. Yeah. So yeah, let's get into that, right? Again, we all say, and I've said it too, that hey, I don't have the money to invest and all the other stuff. When you do, because most people think that it costs a lot of money to invest, and it does not at all. You know, you can start with $10 in the market, even 20, 30, 40, whatever case may be. You can start investing, and then you're gonna have that side that says that, well, I don't know enough to start investing. Well, when do you need to know anything to start? You learn and you grow. That's the way the world works. We learn and we grow. So there's never been a time, and I put myself in that. There's never been a time where I said that, well, I don't necessarily have the money to invest. You know, I didn't know. I never had anyone come to me about it. Then someone did come to me about it. I'm like, okay. I went ahead and I was like, yeah, I'll go ahead and start investing. And I started where I didn't know anything, and I would still be on that journey. I'll always be on that journey because you're not going to know a lot. There's a lot in the stock market that you need to know, but it's not enough to the point where you can say that you're not going to start. Because I can tell you right now, if you have not started investing, that you're never going to get to a place where you can say, okay, I'm ready. Because you're not going to be ready. All right? The days of just putting your money into the bank, that's long gone. Technically, it was never a thing in the first place. The money in the bank was used to save, but it wasn't used to grow your money. So if you're one of those people who I'm gonna say it like this, be straight up blunt, who complains, and I'm not necessarily saying it in a bad way, but if you're always talking about, I need this, I need that, I don't have the money to do this, I don't have the money to do that, then how are you going to do it? You can say I'm gonna come out here and get 3, 4 jobs and work it, and I have the money, but that's not how it works. Like, you have to build long term. You have to have a long term investing plan, and you have a long term investing plan. When you invest in money, it's sitting there, it's working for you. There's a few things you're going to do, but for the most part, it's long term. So the money's working for you. Then by the time you look up, you're like, oh my goodness, I got more money than I thought that I would have. Stay there. Stay. Here we go. Yeah, then you're telling yourself, oh, I got more money than I would have ever thought. And that's just because you started investing. So we can always say there's going to be, there needs to be a good time to start. And there's never ever a good time. I'm going to be straight up. Yo, I don't care what age you are. I don't care if you're listening to me and you're 18 years old. There's going to be a time where you're going to turn 30, 40, 50, whatever the case may be, and you're going to look back like, dang, time went by fast. Time goes by fast, right? Even if you're in your dang on 40s, you're going to look up, now you're 50, you're 60, you're 70, and you're going to be like, okay, how does my money look? Where does the time go? Time does not wait on anybody, and we all know that. So you have to get out of your shell and go ahead and start. Because while you're waiting, there's somebody else that's already surpassing you and doing what they need to do. And I'm not saying it's a competition, but hey, people are catching on and say, hey, what I'm doing right now, that's not going to work long term. Like, the way to wealth, and even if you don't even want to be wealthy, I don't care, you may want to just be rich. Or you may just want to be like, hey, comfortable for you. However way you say it, you're not going to get there until you start investing. All right? I don't care if you tell yourself, that I don't have the money to do it. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. You know, you can go into the stock market right now, pull up a company, and I don't, whether it's a new company, older companies, wherever the case may be, that may only have a share of just $5. You're going to tell me you don't have $5 to invest in yourself, to build your future, to build your cash flow, all that stuff like that? You have it. You just have to take the time and say, you know what, let me open an account and go ahead and deposit money. And then at that point, you can turn around, do your research, what you need to do, all that. But you can also have that feeling of, oh my God, I'm here. I'm finally doing it. So I'm saying all this to say, like, don't hold yourself back. Don't limit yourself. Don't assume that you can't do something or you're not ready to do something. And let me step back for 1 second here. I just noticed I said that you're not ready. I know there are times in our lives when we could be going through something. We may be going through something like it's serious. And I get it. Your energy there, your emotions are not there, and I get it. Now that's a different story right there, right? But if you're not in that situation where for the most part you don't have anything going on that's like detrimental or anything like that, then there's no excuse where you can't say, hey, I'm ready, let's go ahead and do this. So I have to make sure that I put that out there because yes, there are valid, in my opinion, there are valid times when you can say, "Hey, I'm not ready." I get it, but if it's just more so like an excuse type deal, then no bueno. That's no good, right? So you have to again get out of your way and tell yourself that, "Hey, I can do this." And I am ready because you're never going to get ready. If you can go to restaurants, a lot of people eat out. Right, what's the difference? That money that you use for the restaurant, that's the money right there that you could have used to open an account and buy you a share, buy you a stock to start investing, right? So you are ready. So there's a big difference, right? Yes, we all have to eat. We all have to eat. We go to the grocery stores, all that and everything. But you can also include that in your plan as well when it comes to investing. Like, hey, groceries part of it, investing is part of my plan. Do all that. So there's no excuse when we say that we're not ready and that we don't have the money to do so. Because again, when will you ever be ready? All right. And with that being said, I'm gonna leave it at that, and I'm gonna come up with another video next because I already know what I want to talk about. All right, and yeah, all right, bye. Well, no, before I leave, consider liking the video. No, don't consider like the video, but consider subscribing to the page. All right. With that being said, this time I'm out. All right, bye.